we go. Moment of truth. Hey gang, on this video we're going to be walking you through the reinstallation of our shaft, our strut, our seal, a coupler. And it's there's captions throughout the video showing you the different pieces and parts that we had to do in order to make it all come together. There were really 5 main steps during this day, which were to make sure we had a clean area to work with, use acetone or alcohol to clean everything up, preset the shaft dry. No, don't put your Sikaflex or 4200, whatever you're going to use to seal it. Mount it as just with the screws to make sure that you can then assess the angles and figure out what you need for the shim and make sure that the shaft aligns properly with the stern tube. Once you play with that, you can then reassess what you need for shims, and I can tell you that very small changes at your strut level will translate into big changes on your shaft going into the stern tube.
So saw you were wiping it down. What were you wiping it? Did you have any kind of chemical on it or not? Just dry it?
Do you want to just do the 4 regular screws, the nuts for now? Fine. Do you just want to do the 4 regular nuts? So here's a tip for you. Don't get too long screws. The screws that came with my new strut were 7 inches long, which were way too long. And then we were using nylon nuts to try to put it together. So we realized that was going to take forever after a while. So we found some regular nuts that we could use just to present and hold the shaft strut tight in order to make sure we could keep working with the shims. So don't use too long screws. Make sure you have the right length, and use regular nuts initially. It'll make your life easier before you have to actually lock everything down. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna have to take it off again, because we're gonna have to loosen them up again to.
How flush is it? Is it actually flush right now? Fun part. I'm sorry?
Nothing like good old soap.
Yeah, exactly. It works quite well. This end's going to have to come out just a touch. Alright. Start Alright. That. That's about centered up now, isn't it? Instead of just trying to space it down, you're gonna have a lot of possibility, at least for wobble. You know, but you can see we got some interference. I mean, it's almost like this is just, and I mean, again, it's not much, but down here, that even a 32nd of an inch here can mean a big difference down there. You know.
When building your shims, you can use anything available to you. You can use some flexible material, but that makes it harder to shim with precision, as the flex material will adjust differently depending on the pressure. You could put resin and try to build up, but the amount of space we're looking at is so thin, is less than millimeters thick. So it's really hard to try to come up with a precise adjustment using fiberglass, epoxy, or some other compound like that. So we use washers as a simple way to assess the shims, but you can use that permanently as you create the potential for wobble on the struts. So we decided to build 2 stainless steel shims, the thickness of a washer, one that is the full space of the strut base, and the other one is half the space, because we needed 2 shims on the forward part to bring the shaft down and 1 on the stern.
Down. I don't know, somewhere in that neighborhood of at least a good 1/4 inch would need.
If we come down by the thickness of a washer here, that should bring it down. That'll translate to a lot more down at the end.
You're probably going to have to loosen up the other aft. Just so we get some clearance. And we're going to really have to torque it. If you want to see what you can get with a wrench, and I'll hold back. But if you look right here where that meets, and it's not even touching here. So you can see the difference. Yeah. And so that's gonna be what we need to do. We need to get, and you know what, maybe even get 1 plate made with all 4. That's the thickness of 1 washer, and then on this side do the 2 holes. That would make it more solid for sure.
Yeah. Okay, gang. So what we're looking at here is to get the angle. Look this way. All right. To get the angle of the shaft so it centers on the stern tube, we had to shim our shaft strut, not by much. I mean, we basically have the thickness of a washer, and we need kind of double the thickness of the washer on the front, so it lowers the shaft a little bit more. But it's really close. But usually when you take your strut off, you're gonna have to shim it anyway, because the replacement is never exactly just right, and you don't know what was supporting the strut to begin with, so you don't know if they had put shims in there or not. So you build the exact same piece, and then you reshim it again to make sure that it lines up properly, so you don't have any problems. So with that, we're wrapping it up for today. We got some shims to make, and then we'll come back to finish this job. Catch you later. Hey gang, Jose here with Sail and Vessel Reverie. We are here today to wrap up our mounting of the strut and the shaft and the coupler and the shaft seal. So this is going to be a short video because not a lot of room to maneuver, and we are short on time, so I'm trying to get all this on before the rain comes in. So let me show you what we did. Hey gang, check it out. Sorry I didn't do a video. We going at it again because we're short on time and didn't want to spend a bunch of time setting up. But now you can see kind of the end product after we got the shims figured out. We ended up building 3 shims out of stainless steel about the thickness of a washer. And that's because we needed 2 on the front, 1 on the back, and we, put a lot of 4200 in there in between and 4200 on the inside, and then just run our finger around to make sure that we seal the edges. The shaft goes in, perfect alignment on the hole. I mean, this spins nice and easy, no restraints. So I think it's a great job, and I'm really happy with the outcome. I got some paint for the stainless to make sure that we protect it before we basically put some sacrificial filler in here and then glass on the outside.
to finish the job on the strut. So it came out great. Let me show you from the kind of stern view. If you remember, I told you this is a port side shaft and strut setup, and that is so when you have the rudder in here, you can see from my hand, you can pull the shaft out without dropping the rudder. And I'm sitting here in the locker, and this is Dennis.
How's it going?
And Dennis did a fabulous job getting all the stuff put together. So let me show you the shaft strut. All right, so we have the backing plates that were on the boat. We gooped them up with a 4200 and put new bolts. So that should be nice and sealed. We got our grounding wire going in, but we got to get the nuts to finish it up. But other than that, it's looking good. And this side, we have the other side of the shaft. So we have our new glide shaft seal. We're going to connect the water intake right there. The new shaft and the new shaft mounting, the new bracket coupler. But we got to get the right screws. The ones we have are a little too long, so we put the old ones in for now. And Dennis got all the engine mounts adjusted. I mean, it was perfect. Everything came back after taking it all apart. It came back within like 2 turns of a nut to
That was literally it. It was 2 turns.
So we're in great shape here. So next big thing is going to be that the rudder. So. All right, gang, we're really excited. This project is done, and I'm gonna wait till we're ready a little closer to getting the boat in the water to put the propeller on. And we're ready to finish the fairing and finish, sorry about all the bouncing, finish the fairing and then get the bottom painted. So we're getting closer. See you soon.